The JuJu hype has gotten way out of hand, and today I'm here to set the record straight. Welcome to the Fantasy Headliners. I'm your host, Ryan O'Connell. I'm going to be talking about JuJu Smith-Schuster today and why he's a sell-high candidate for me. This hype train has completely derailed. I saw a tweet earlier today that has JuJu inside the top 3 wide receivers. Now, this is just completely out of line, and it's got out of hand, guys, and I'm here to set the record straight. Now, I'm going to be comparing him to Tyler Boyd and what happened to Tyler Boyd once A.J. Green went out with that injury last year. Now, obviously, all the variables aren't going to be the same, but the comparison gives you a bigger picture of what you should be looking for and why I think you guys should sell high on him now while you still can. Alright guys, let's hop into this. Now a quick disclaimer for you guys, I obviously do not own the rights to the images provided in this documentation. This is strictly going to be for comparison purposes. When we take a look at JuJu Smith-Schuster and Tyler Boyd, we're going to come to find out that they're very similar. Not only did they grade out very similarly in the combine, but they're similar in height, both 6'1", both about 200 pounds. JuJu's got about 15-pound weight advantage on Tyler Boyd, both with similar arm length, and their hands are about the same. So, same type of caliber player. Both are very talented, and both have been dominant wide receiver twos. Now, what I'm going to take a look at today is the situation when your elite wide receiver 1 leaves the picture and how that affects your fantasy football production. As we all know, with Tyler Boyd, when A.J. Green was in the mix, he was able to eat underneath and he just completely excelled. The same with JuJu Smith-Schuster. When Antonio Brown was in the picture, he got all those underneath routes, got tons of yardage, and was very successful fantasy football player. But now Antonio Brown's out of the picture, and the hype train has gone completely bananas. I've heard him as high as going a number 3 wide receiver in this draft, and I just want to give you some pause for the cause, guys. You guys need to pump your brakes on this one. Just follow me through this and get my reasoning behind it. So, when we look at Tyler Boyd and JuJu Smith-Schuster, like I said, they're both predominantly slot receivers, and we see that their splits are very comparable. Schuster, about 60% in the slot, while Tyler Boyd was 73%. Left-right, about 12 and 13 for Tyler Boyd. And then it looks like JuJu favored the right side 22 and the left to 18. And if we look at their target share, I'm trying to give you guys the big picture here of how comparable these guys are, not by height, weight, but their target share on the team. The big thing that stands out to me is that from a target share perspective, for Tyler Boyd, he received 20% of his target share, true target share, and JuJu Smith-Schuster actually received 24%. The only big difference that really pops off the chart is red zone target share. For JuJu, he received 31%, and Tyler Boyd only received 15%. Deep target share, both around 25%. And then receiving targets per game, JuJu received about 2.5 more targets per game. But as a whole, very comparable players. If we take a look at Tyler Boyd's fantasy production when A.J. Green went out, this is basically weeks 10 and beyond. Now, a lot of people make the argument, well, Andy Dalton also got hurt. So that's one of the variables that also comes into play. But I'm just trying to get you guys to think about what kind of coverage he's going to be facing now that he's the wide receiver 1. Those elite cornerbacks are going to be sliding down into the slot. they're going to be shadowing him. Like, Tyler Boyd was basically the only target on Cincinnati's offense. Literally, they had nothing else last year. And if we take a look here, he received 11 targets. That was with Andy Dalton, mind you, and only 4 receptions. That's because all eyes were on Tyler Boyd. There's no A.J. Green to draw the coverage away and have him cut it underneath. 8 targets, 6 targets, 5 targets. And not a lot of production to follow. There's one game here against Cleveland, 7 receptions, 85 yards, and a touchdown. I'm assuming a lot of that was probably in garbage time. Regardless, in fantasy, we don't care. Points are points, whether it's in garbage or prime time. If he's getting his points, we're happy. But if you look at the beginning of the season, while AJ's healthy, he is just thriving. 21 points, 25 points, 21 points, 8.4, back up to 25, 5.7, and 28.6. So he's getting you a solid production, about 10 to 25 points each week. Yes, he laid a couple duds in there, but as a whole, we're very happy with Tyler Boyd's production. Foreshadowing, 2019. This is going to be the same scenario with JuJu Smith-Schuster. This is going to be the same scenario with JuJu Smith-Schuster. That's a lot of J's and S's in there, so excuse me for that. But what I'm trying to get you guys to see is that, yes, he will see an uptick in target shares, but he will also be facing more elite coverage. He'll have people shadowing him. All eyes are going to be on JuJu Smith-Schuster. He's not going to be this elite wide receiver 2 that can get all these underneath routes and take them upfield with the athletic talent he has. He's now going to have to beat those top tier cornerbacks on the other side. And if you're looking at the AFC has some of the best cornerbacks in the league. And if you're buying into this JuJu Smith-Schuster hype, you could be in for a rude awakening. So that's all I'm trying to say today, guys. I'm just trying to tell you to pump the brakes or possibly sell high while you still can. This is the PPR leaders for 2018. If we take a look down below at just wide receivers, we see that JuJu Smith-Schuster finished the season as the 8th best wide receiver overall. Pretty solid, but like I said, that was with Antonio Brown being there. Now, there's a couple factors that are going to change these rankings. Obviously, if Tyreek Hill is suspended, he's going to fall off a cliff. But my number 1, Odell, followed by Hopkins, then Adams, and then, you can make an argument for Julio, Michael Thomas, Thielen, Antonio Brown. His target share is going to be ridiculous. So JuJu should finish as a top 10 wide receiver, but to make the argument that someone's going to jump into becoming a top 3 wide receiver or a first round pick simply because Antonio Brown left town is just absurd, guys. Yes, there's going to be plenty more targets to go around, but we do not know that's what Pittsburgh's going to do. Maybe they go to a more run-heavy attack. There's so many different variables you guys have to consider. Oh, Antonio Brown's gone. JuJu Smith-Schuster is now the best wide receiver in the game. That's just not true, guys. Now, I've shown you the comparison. I broke it down, and this is just some of the stats that you need to be looking at. He finished the season as the 8th best wide receiver. Down here, Tyler Boyd. And he didn't play all the games. And didn't even have his quarterback for all those games. So I'm just saying, very comparable situation. Please pump the brakes. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think JuJu's being overhyped here? Or do you really think he's going to be excelling in his new role as the wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh? Like I said in the video, I do believe his target share will go up with all those targets to go around. But I think the people who are going to really excel because of Antonio's departure are guys like James Washington, Vance McDonald. Even James Conner will probably get more involved in the passing game. JuJu, I think, is going to see that uptick, but he's also going to see some tougher coverage, which is going to decrease his value in my eyes. So let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. Are you buying in or are you selling the JuJu Smith-Schuster hype? Thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Ryan O'Connell. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Fantasy Headliners. We're going to be providing you this kind of information all off-season and season long, exclusively here at Headliner Nation.